It is incredibly easy to feel like you are drowning in circumstances you can't control. You experience a financial hit, a difficult relationship, or a streak of bad luck, and the immediate instinct is to look outward, to blame the economy, your upbringing, or the people rushing past you. But the architecture of your life grows directly from your internal mental landscape. Every building, business, or conflict you endure began as a single, invisible thought. When we obsess over failure, we command our environment to mirror that lack back to us. Thousands of years ago, the Buddha observed a law of human existence. What we think, we become. He suggested that the only way to genuinely alter our reality is to first address the quality of our mentality. Which brings us to a difficult question. If your life feels like a constant storm, are you a victim of a chaotic world, or are you being punished by your own mind? To understand how thoughts build reality, we must look at how we process pain. Life inevitably shoots a first arrow at us. This is the unavoidable hardship of human existence, an unexpected illness, a financial loss, or a sharp rejection. This timeline illustrates the mechanics of suffering. The solid strike is the first arrow. Immediately, we fire a cascade of second arrows, narratives of anger and fear. The initial strike is mandatory, but the weight of those second arrows is an optional mental construction. Unsuccessful people spend their lives obsessively firing second arrows at their own chests. They experience a setback, decide they are failures, and create a reality reflecting that belief. Consider a man enjoying a peaceful evening in a rowboat. He is relishing the tranquility when he sees another boat emerging from the mist, heading on a direct collision course toward him. He calls out at first, but the boat keeps coming. His mind instantly shifts to hostility. He begins shouting, furious at the careless boater he believes is intentionally ruining his evening. Finally, the boats collide. The man jumps up, ready to unleash his fury on the stranger. But as he looks down, he realizes the other boat is completely empty. It had simply drifted into him on the current. In that exact instant, his anger dissolves completely. The physical reality of the collision remained the same, but his suffering evaporated because it originated from his ego's false narrative, not the event itself. We construct false narratives instantly, attributing harmful intent to empty boats. A highly skilled samurai traveled to a mountain temple to ask a Zen master, "Can you tell me about the realms of heaven and hell?" Instead of answering, the elderly master looked at the imposing warrior and burst into mocking laughter. He insulted the samurai, calling him a posturing fool and a disgrace to his rank. Blinded by rage, the samurai drew his sword and raised it high, fully intending to strike the monk down. In the fraction of a second before the blade fell, the master looked into the warrior's eyes and whispered, "That is the gate of hell." The samurai froze, realizing his violent thoughts had created a hell realm in his own mind. He sheathed his sword and bowed in profound gratitude, prompting the master to declare, "And that is the gate of paradise." His universe shifted instantly because he chose humility over rage, constructing his own paradise in the very moment he lowered his sword. The process of altering our internal landscape often involves letting go of what we've already gathered. Two Zen monks, Tanzen and Ekido, were once walking down a deeply muddy road during a heavy rainstorm. They encountered a woman in a silk kimono who was unable to cross a swollen puddle. Monks were strictly forbidden from touching women. Yet without hesitation, Tanzan picked her up, carried her across the water, set her down, and continued on his way. Ekido, the younger monk, was shocked. He walked for hours in silence, his mind churning with judgment and outrage over the broken vow. Finally, unable to contain his thoughts, he exploded, asking how Tanzan could break their sacred rules. Tanzan replied, "I left the girl by the river. Are you still carrying her?" Tanzan carried the physical weight for a minute and let it go. Ekido had poisoned his own experience for hours by carrying a heavy, muddy mental burden long after the event was over. You cannot design a new future if your mind is still carrying the baggage of past fears and resentments. When you drop the burden and change your thinking, you change your life.